It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Hi there. We are already getting ready for another game for the Chicago Bears. The Bears, coming off this horrible loss to Denver, 31-28 on Sunday, are already in sort of panicked preparation for the Washington game, as all teams are that have a Sunday game. And then you've got the lickety split week up until Thursday, the Bears and the Washington Commanders before the mini bye takes place. And it's, kind of an interesting mark in the season that the Bears are headed towards here, because it was last year after the mini bye that the Bears changed things and that Justin Fields was unleashed. And that was a game against Washington, and it was a horrible game. The Bears ended up losing to Carson Wentz, and the Commanders, or the football team, I don't remember, were they the Commanders last year, Ray, or were they the football team? They were the Commanders? We'll check it out. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They played the Washington team that night, lost. Justin Fields was pretty outspoken about his disgust with losing and everything that was going on with the Bears, and then things changed. We're at a point right now with the Bears 0-4 that what we could be talking about at the mini bye this year is the job security of the coaching staff and really anybody in that building. Because if they get to a point where, if they lose this game to Washington, that's what I'm saying, if they lose it and they go to 0-5, and that's what we might be talking about at the mini bye, because that would be 16 straight losses going back to last year. And at some point in time, even if they are in the midst of a rebuild, there needs to be more competency on the field. And right now there isn't. And we all know that there's all sorts of stuff going on off the field, which the Bears have been having to deal with. And let's get into some of that stuff right now, because we do have some follow-up from the Chase Claypool saga. Chase Claypool was inactive on Sunday against Denver. Inactive. Wasn't there. And Matt Eberflus told us yesterday that it was his choice to stay home, that they gave him a choice, and that he chose to stay home. And then we were told shortly after that by a Bears official that that was not the case, that Chase Claypool was inactive, but it was the Bears that told Claypool to stay home. So with that said, let's listen to a chunk of Matt Eberflus the day after the inactive designation. He wanted to say something about Chase Claypool to us.
The record for Chase Claypool, we did tell him not to be here for the weekend, including the game. We told him he'd be inactive on Saturday. And this morning we informed him that he's not going to be here this week for the game as well. And we just feel that's best for the team at this time. So, and again, Ryan and I have informed him of that, and that's where it is. So we just feel that's the best for the team right now. Questions?
Is the plan to keep Chase Claypool away from the team until you trade or waive him?
Yeah, right now we're just having him stay, not be in the building this week. And then again, Ryan does all the trades and transactions, and we'll decide that as we go forward.
Why keep him away? Why keep him away from the team right now? What is the rationale behind that?
Yeah, we just feel that's the best for the team.
Why?
Yeah, it's just like we said, if we're in the building, we feel that's best for the team. And really it comes down to this, when you're evaluating players, right, in meetings, in practice, right, and, in walkthroughs, all those things, it's important that you evaluate the entire body of work, right? And we just feel that right now Chase is going to be out of the building. It's best for our football team.
There's almost no scenario where a team would do this unless that player was done with that team. Is that the case with Chase, that he's not going to play for the Bears again?
Well, he's not going to be in the building this week, so he's not playing this week. So that we'll see where it goes from there. And again, like I said, Ryan handles all those trades and transactions, and we'll see where it goes.
Do you think there's some possibility that then you would have him out of the building? You would tell him not to come to a game. You'd have him out of the building, not to go to another game, and he would somehow be on the team again at some point and play?
All I'm saying right now is that he's not in the building this week.
What transpired this weekend when you informed him he was going to be inactive?
Meaning what?
What transpired? Something obviously flared up to the point where he was separated from the team for the remainder of the weekend.
Yeah, I would just say that we wanted to. We thought it was best for the team. In terms of what transpired is that we informed him he was inactive and he was not going to be with the team at the game at that point. And then we informed him this morning that he was not going to be here this week.
What was his response when you told him he was going to be inactive, and was that here at Haugh?
It was over the phone in both instances, and his reaction was, we'll keep it there. It's between me and him.
It's obviously a part of this. Obviously, it seems to be triggering your decision to separate him from the team. Why not provide more clarity on what his reaction was to explain why there's this sudden divorce and separation?
Because it's a conversation between us, me, him, and Ryan.
So you should be able to give the factors for why you made the decision, though. Why did it get to this point with Chase?
Yeah, I would just say that, what we think is best for the team and how we operate here as a football team, with the Chicago Bears, when I came here day one, right, I talked about, being on time, being respectful and working hard. And that to me is important for every individual, if it's a staff member, a player, or a coach. And that's where we are. And we feel right now this is the best decision for us.
I feel like that answer
Is he
indicates
not
those
doing
are the
those
issues
things,
with
Matt?
Chase. Those are the issues then? The ones you just listed?
I'm just saying that's if we have a standard for that. We have standards for that, and if those standards are met, then everything's good. If it's not, then it's not.
What did you think about him saying at his locker on Friday that he doesn't think that he's being used optimally, that he's not being used correctly?
Well, I would just say that, when we're in the situation we are, we got to find ways to find ways to get things done, right? So that's a player, coach, and everything. I really have no reaction to that one way or the other, but I will say this: we got to find ways as players and coaches to put everybody in position to succeed.
Man, that is a lot there from Matt Eberflus, and it's clear that this is Claypool was told to stay home because he just wasn't really following team policy, team rules, Eberflus rules, try hard, be on time, all that kind of stuff. He had violated, insulted the sensibilities of the coaching staff somehow in some way. So I think we understand. It just took a long time to get there. And look, I was just talking about this on the score. Do I think that Chase Claypool will return to play football for the Chicago Bears? I do not. I don't think so, because I think that this is strike three. I think that there are things that have been going on with Chase Claypool that the Bears have not been pleased with since he got here. And, if you'd like, most of which is his play. His play has not been good. And, I've given him the benefit of the doubt at every chance, but the play has not been good. He went off on everybody on the sidelines last year in Detroit. He had numerous fights in training camp this year. He got hurt right after a fight he got into in training camp. He had the pup list thing where he's on it one day, off it the next day. And I'm sure that's not on him necessarily, or it might not be, but it just adds to the weirdness of the season and quite frankly, the distraction that he has been. I mean, this is no player is going to admit it, nor coaches at this point, but I don't know if they've used the word, but it's been a huge distraction to this team. Kmet has been a menace to the Chicago Bears. It has been a real problem. Hurts the locker room. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that we sort of, tiptoe away from. We don't want to say, is he bad for the clubhouse? Yeah. Sounds like he's bad for the clubhouse right now. Cole Kmet played with Chase Claypool at Notre Dame, so they go way back. So I asked Cole Kmet about his buddy Claypool.
Yeah, just unfortunate. I mean, obviously, Chase is a really close friend of mine, and I've known him for a long time, going back to college, and really unfortunate that it's kind of had it pan out the way it has so far. But obviously, Coach and Ryan are making a decision that they feel is best for the football team, and so that's just kind of where it's at with it.
Justin said yesterday that he's had to have multiple conversations with Chase about managing the display of his emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you shed any light on, did something happen in practice specifically with him in regards to that?
No, I can't speak to that. Nothing specifically that I can remember. in terms of like an outburst or anything like that. That being said, I know with what we're going through right now, guys are frustrated, and Chase is an emotional guy, an emotional player, and things tend to come out with him like that. But I can't speak to anything in terms of happening in practice this past week where there was an outburst or anything like that.
As somebody who's been close with Chase and obviously is a key part of this organization, what do you relay to him about if or how we can salvage this relationship with the team?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just going to be there for him as a friend. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all adults here, and everyone gets to make their own decisions and can say what they want to say on things, and act how they want to act, or whatever it may be. So, but as a friend, like I'm always there for Chase, whether he's here or somewhere else, wherever it is. I'm a guy that always be there for him, and if he needs the advice, I definitely want to hit. I haven't been able to hit him up yet, but we'll hit him up, today after we're done with meetings and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, that's it's on him to do what he's got to do, and just as a friend, I'm going to be there for him.
All right, on with it. Cole Kmet actually had a really good game this past week. Had a couple of touchdown passes. He also looked like like a different guy himself in this game. He's the guy that, because you got to look at Cole Kmet a little differently now, just because he did get paid. He did get $50 million. So while he's not breaking their bank, he was paid a healthy sum, and he's expected to produce. And Cole Kmet did produce. And Kmet also talked about the offense in general, which until it hit a wall, looked refreshingly good.
Yeah, I will say, like, I guess positives going from yesterday. I felt like there was more of identity to the offense, and you could feel that out there, especially for those first three quarters. I know it was kind of a mold between, using the playmakers. Obviously, you saw what DJ and Heaven Moon, what they can do to stretch the field, and I was able to get some stuff underneath, and obviously highly executing the run game as well. So you saw Khalil do some really good things. So you saw a good mesh of everything that you kind of wanted to see at times, and hopefully we can lean more into that and kind of keep progressing with it.
Challenge of doing it against a defense that's not.
Yeah, really good defensive line coming up Thursday night, and quick rebound here, and a lot of the guys that we played last year are still on that team, so you can use the tape from last year and look at it. But yeah, we're gonna have to be creative in some regards, but also go at them and wear them down up front, and understand that this defensive front is, I think, one of the best in the league.
Yeah, and last year Washington beat the Bears 12-7. Who was the starting quarterback in that game? Do you want to know who the starting quarterback was in that game, Ray? Starting quarterback in that game was, it seems like this was so much longer ago, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was the quarterback last year for Washington. I don't even think he had 100 yards in the game, but Washington beat the Bears 12-7. Back to Kmet, his numbers in the game the other day: 7 catches, 85 yards, and the 2 TDs. He did have the miscommunication with Justin Fields on the crucial interception. He did the right thing. And when I say miscommunication, that makes it sound like Claypool made an error. Oh, man, my hair. But that's not the case. He did not make an error. He did what he was supposed to do. He just wasn't improvising doing the improv that Justin Fields wanted him to do. Last cut. Somebody's got to talk from the defensive standpoint, and somebody's got to talk for the 0-4 start. So Tremaine Edmonds, definitely a vocal leader on this team, talking about the team's 0-4 start.
It's going to be storms, you know what I mean? You can't run from those storms. You got to run to it. I think that's just what the main thing that's being said in the building is. We're not shying away from anything. If anything, it's making us better. It's building us closer. It's meshing us together as a football team. And sometimes you got to go through some stuff, you know what I mean, to get on the other side. I think how you handle those storms, it's going to be the ultimate test of who you are as a person and who you are as a football team. I just think, adversity is the number one teacher. You know what I mean? It builds character within yourself, and it builds character within the people around you. You just got to keep one foot in front of the other. These storms are going to end one day, and when they end, we're going to be ready as a football team for sure.
How do you process that, though, from going from from Buffalo, obviously, where you were winning big time, to now all of a sudden in your career dealing with storms, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, this is not my first storm in my life. I think, that's credits to my mom and my dad for, instilling that in me as a young child, just to be able to handle it when things like this happen. It's very individualized. Like, you got to look at yourself in the mirror, right? That's my message when I talk to guys. Like, even in Buffalo, everything wasn't just winning. We had tough times there. It was just about us connecting as a team, not pointing a finger, but, just figuring it out. It's like a puzzle, man. You got to figure it out one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, he said a lot of the right things there in terms of, motivation. I could see a guy like that keeping spirits up in the locker room. And I guess somebody had to say something like that. And Tremaine Edmonds did it. But, man, God, did that defense blow it too, man. I mean, we talk about a lot of the loud moments, and those came on offense late in the game, and then the strip sack and the subsequent scoop and score. But the defense also let a 28-7 lead get away. The defense is. So just another week where we have to say, yeah, bad all around, with some encouraging tendencies as far as the offense is concerned. So thank you all for listening. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Daily Score. For Ray Diaz, I am Mark Grote. Talk to you soon. Bye.